What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got another edition of The Drive-In, where I talk to you guys about recent films that are in theaters, and I tell you guys whether or not they are worth seeing right away, waiting for on DVD, or skipping altogether. Today on The Drive-In, I've got a brand new horror release. It came out, I think, 2 weeks ago, or I think it's on its second weekend now. Brightburn, 2019's Brightburn. This was much ballyhooed as being a big crossing genre situation with the guns being involved. Everyone talked about how this was going to be superhero horror, and that's what intrigued me. Was the special effects look really good. The trailers just caught my eye. I didn't know anything about this stuff until seeing the trailers, but they intrigued me, and I figured, okay, I might as well go check this out. I just got back, and overall, I really enjoyed this. I will do what I usually do for these reviews since it's a brand new movie. I will go through it without spoilers. I will not give anything away at first. I'll give you guys my final thoughts and ratings, and then we'll go at the end, and I will give spoilers for those that want to stop the video at that point. So, non-spoilery. 2019's Brightburn is directed by David Yarovesky. I think I butchered that. Written by Brian and Mark Gunn. Produced by James Gunn of the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy fame. And starring Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, and Jackson A. Dunn. Brightburn is like I said before, a horror superhero movie where a couple is trying to have children badly, and they can't seem to have a child for whatever reason. And one night, all of a sudden, there is a big crash in the backyard. Some major thing happens in their town, the town of Brightburn, go figure. And this crater kind of lands in their backyard, and they wind up with a child. And that child winds up being different than everybody else. I like this a lot. This was not your typical possessed child, demon, background, ghost, demonic possession movie. There's been so many of those. They're so oversaturated, and they usually suck. And this one did not. This was action-packed, and everyone's been debating, is Brightburn a horror film or not? I would say it is. It's not straight horror, obviously, but definitely elements of horror. This, to me, storyline-wise, was very creative. Without getting into any kind of spoilers, obviously, you know things are going to go awry with the child. So, obviously, there's going to be elements of horror in it. I can't give too much away in the non-spoiler section, but I thought, number one, the acting was excellent. Elizabeth Banks is one of the most underrated actors out there right now. Liz Banks just always kills it. She was the mom in this story. Anytime there's a story of a mother and her child, you look for connections with the actors. You look for emotion. You look for tension when things have to happen toward the final act. And she did an amazing job with this. She was great. David Denman being the father, you just felt very natural reactions with him. He had funny moments. He had some comedic kind of reactions in there, but it wasn't over-the-top comedy. I thought he played the balance really well. And Jackson A. Dunn as the main character was tremendous. You've heard me say 1,000 times on this channel that child actors usually are pretty awful because they can't keep their emotions, or they can't use a balance of emotions, or they're just kind of hard to coach and direct in general. But I thought Jackson A. Dunn was phenomenal in this. He's a very quiet, unassuming, awkward kind of kid, obviously kind of an evil genius type who doesn't use his powers necessarily for good all the time. But he just has this haunting way, without being too over the top or too much like a Bates or anything like that. He has a nice balance of very subtle looks and facial expressions and nuances in his character. And he really, along with Liz Banks, carried this film. Really good stuff in the acting department. Effects-wise, the effects people need shouted out, and I wish I had written their names down because the effects in this are tremendous. So often with superhero stuff, it comes down to, especially in the horror genre as well, it comes down to gore, and it comes down to how realistic the effects of the hero looks, especially when the superhero is a 12-year-old boy. This easily could have been cheesy and could have looked fake and could have looked CGI and could have made the little boy look stupid, but it did not. This looked realistic. They did a nice job when the superhero character was levitating and flying around. and speeding through the air. It didn't look cheesy. They didn't kind of overexpose it. When they did show the levitation and stuff, it was done tastefully. It was done nicely. So that is a very hard point to nail, especially when you're blending genres and using children, and they did a very good job with that. Again, James Gunn, having produced Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers and all these other superhero movies, knows what he's doing, and his brothers, having written this, did a nice job in blending that. Also, the gore in this, there were some nasty kills. I won't talk about the plot points of the kills for the spoilers, but the way they did these kills, there were some gruesome moments in this. I give the effects team a lot of credit. I'm not sure who did it, but they were over-the-top kind of kills. There was some stuff that was really gory, a lot of blood, a lot of kind of nasty residual effects from the kills, a lot of blood, and it was done in a way that, you know, maybe it didn't always make you feel terrified, but there were some cringeworthy moments in this, and they did it in such a way and shot it in such a way that you didn't always see the kills, but you always saw the effects, and it was really accentuated nicely. So good job on the effects. Also, the sound design for this is among my favorites. I'm a jumper in theaters. I've seen a million horror movies. I've written a million horror books and movies, but I still jump whenever there's a good sound design and good scares. The tension in this film is really, really good. There's so many scenes with Jackson A. Dunn's character stalking or being in the same room or appearing and disappearing and reappearing and popping up. There's a lot of lights up and down in this, but it's not overdone. Those loud booms and flashing lights are overly used tropes and crutches that a lot of writers rely on to make scares, but this didn't feel that cheap. It felt like tension. It felt like an Aronofsky film in a way, where, you know, the house is its own character, and the sounds make you jump a lot, and the appearance and disappearance comes out of different places, and they kind of make you think he's going to be in one place because that's where they usually are, and then he was in somewhere else. So they did use the overly used lighting effects and sound effects, but they did it in such a way that made you feel tense and kind of holding onto your seat or holding onto your body throughout the movie, which really added a lot to it. I would call this Superman in a killer horror movie. This was what would happen if Clark Kent was actually using his powers for evil, and that's all that I can really say. So with that being said, cinematography, acting, sound design, off the charts, excellent stuff, good effects, solid movie. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to be the best horror film you see this year. It's probably somewhere in my 6, 7, 8 best horror film range. It's in the bottom half of my top 10, but I would be surprised if it wasn't being mentioned at the end of the year as being in that lower spectrum, in that 8, 9, 10, 11 best horror film range. So I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10, and I hope that it does well because I want to see this more. I think the plot and the story was very creative, and they did a nice job of taking things that already exist and making them feel fresh. That's a rare thing. Now, quickly for the spoilers. So if you have not seen Brightburn, go check it out. 7 out of 10, still in theaters, worth a watch. Definitely worth spending your $10 on, or whatever you pay for movies nowadays. Spoiler-wise, it winds up being that Jackson A. Dunn's character is some kind of alien of some sort. We don't really know what he is. The parents found him when the crater or whatever crashed in the backyard. They found a little boy laying there. The parents always wanted a kid. The mom especially always wanted a child. So, despite the fact that it was weird, they took this kid in and raised him as their own. Hid the crater in the farmhouse garage kind of thing. He eventually finds it, starts to realize what he is, and he starts trying to take over the world with his little Brightburn symbol, the BB, for Brandon Breyer, his name. So they use a nice use of symbol, and we don't really know what he is, some kind of demonic alien thing, but I like the flashing eyes. I like the way that he does the kills. There's a particular scene where there's glass popping out of an eyeball. Really, really gross. There's, like I said, a lot of use of lights, a lot of reds. So his flashing eye beams kill somebody. There's a point where the one character's jaw's hanging off their face. There's one where someone's ripped out and their insides are showing. There's just a lot of great gore in this and a lot of great use of the superhero stuff without being too cheesy. There's a couple little giggly things in there, a couple little dramatic pauses, but overall, it's a nice blend, and it's more on the serious side. And at the end, everybody else is dead, but the little boy remains alive, and there's talk on the news of him and other creatures that are causing trouble. I don't know if that's references to other movies that already exist, or if they're going to make other movies like this in this universe. But the guns are involved, and if this makes good money, I can hope they're going to make a sequel, either of Brightburn or of other creatures in this universe they're creating. I would love to see more gory superhero horror where this evil Avengers comes together to do some horrible things. So I hope it happens. 7 out of 10. Go check it out. If you have seen Brightburn, tell me in the comments below what you guys think. Talk to me about this, and what else do you guys want to see. I'm hoping to see Ma this week, so I may come back to you guys with a review of Ma. I'm posting another one tomorrow as well for The Prodigy, so come back and check that out, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.